Bills' defense was an absolute disappointment in 2015, but there were bright spots. Rookie second-round pick Ronald Darby was one of those stars. According to Pro Football Focus, Darby was 5th in the league with 13 pass deflections. He was graded as the 8th best corner in the NFL, right behind some familiar names in Chris Harris Jr., Richard Sherman, Patrick Peterson, and Josh Norman. So let's take a look at a few plays where Darby displayed his talent in 2015. On the following play, Darby is matched up versus wide receiver Ruben Randall. Darby shows how he can stay glued to wide receivers down the field. The Bills are in man coverage with the safety shaded to Odell Beckham Jr. Ronald Darby is in a press technique to the boundary of the field. Eli Manning takes a shot deep but is unsuccessful on the play. Now watch Darby up close versus Randall. On the snap, Darby eyes a receiver's chest. Randall wastes the first few steps trying to get a good release. But as soon as the receiver plants his left foot to release outside, Darby mirrors him and plants his right foot and goes. The corner has such tight coverage he is able to look directly at Randall's eyes. As soon as Randall's eyes look up for the ball, Darby gets his head around to find the ball himself. As the ball is in the air, Darby keeps pressing the receiver to the boundary, not leaving him much room to operate. So here's the play in full. Darby had a rough preseason, and most of us were worried how well he would hold up in the season opener. The Rook held his own against some veteran wide receivers. He was targeted 8 times, allowed 6 receptions, but managed to pick off Andrew Luck once. On the following interception, Darby showed off his 4.38 speed after getting beaten by T.Y. Hilton at the line of scrimmage. Let's take a look at the play more closely. The Bills are in their base defense versus the Colts' 21 personnel package. They are late to line up, and Darby is caught still trying to figure out what coverage they are playing. In that split-second ball snap, and Hilton has a head start on the go route. Ron doesn't panic. He recovers well, closes the gap versus the quick wide receiver, and times the jump perfectly. Check the play out from the tight camera angle. Luck fakes the run to Gore, then he finds a safety. That holds Rambo and allows Hilton to get downfield. By the time Rambo realizes what is occurring, he doesn't have the speed or angles to make up for the lost ground. Although the ball sailed, it doesn't take away from the superb awareness that led to the interception. Hilton has Darby beaten by 2 to 3 yards, but Darby stays in a very good trail position. Ron even uses his own teammate to give him an idea where the ball is. As Rambo comes into the picture, Darby peeks at him to see how he's reacting to the ball. Darby tightens the gap, takes a good angle to T.Y.'s inside shoulder, and as Hilton slightly looks up for the ball, the corner does as well. As the ball approaches, he maintains great body control while making a play on the ball. So here's the interception in full. In the very first meeting between Rex Ryan and his former team, Darby made some great plays for his coach. He was tested 5 times and only allowed 1 catch for -2 yards. Check out how he breaks on the ball in the following play. Let's take a look at the play from the all-22 angle. The Bills show a late safety blitz with cover 0 on the back end, but what is even more important is the alignment of the corners. As you can see, the corners are shaded inside. This alignment gives Darby the angle to cut off the slant route. All of the defensive backs know the Jets do not have enough guys to protect Fitzy, so he has to get rid of the ball quickly. This gives the DBs the green light to jump the routes. Here's the route one-on-one. Darby diagnoses the route well. On Curley's second step, Darby notices that the receiver turns his head inside and plants his right foot at the same time. If you missed it, watch it again. Darby plants on the receiver's second step and makes a play on the ball. As they said on the broadcast, Darby has just as much right to the ball as a receiver. Here's a play in normal speed. Ronald Darby played against some really good players while at Florida State. In Week 2, he met one of the most dominant players in the NFL in Rob Gronkowski. According to Pro Football Focus, Gronk was targeted 4 times while Darby was covering him. Ron held him to 1 catch for 36 yards. The former Seminole finished the game with 4 tackles and 1 pass deflection. Darby isn't afraid of being matched up against one of the biggest mismatches in the league. Although he is 7 inches shorter than Gronk, Darby doesn't back down. On the following play, he's left on an island with the native Western New Yorker, but he shows the confidence that you want in your starting corner. Let's break down the play from start to finish. Brady notices 6 defenders near the line of scrimmage and man coverage on the outside, so he signals to Chandler and Gronk to run go routes. The Bills rush 4 and play cover 1. Brady likes the matchup and takes a shot deep to Gronk, but the coverage is tight and the ball sails incomplete. On the snap, he is quite aggressive with the tight end. He tries pressing him at the line of scrimmage, but Gronk isn't fazed and releases outside. Ron remains with Gronk up the sideline, right in the hip pocket of the tight end. He uses great technique. Darby plays the man, and when Gronk looks for the ball, he does too. The tight coverage forces Gronk to widen his route, making the throw for Brady that much more difficult. Although the press technique wasn't that effective, the slight disruption may have been the reason that Gronk was 2 yards short of making this play. Here's the play in full. Coming out of college, many scouts and coaches were worried that Darby would have trouble tackling due to his lack of toughness. Many thought that he would be a liability. He proved them wrong, finishing the season with 69 tackles and missing only 7. On this play, he is matched up with Brandon Marshall, and he stonewalls the receiver to force the Jets to turn it over on downs. On the snap, he sees that Marshall doesn't push off the line of scrimmage, so he tacks downhill. He breaks down with his helmet up and outside, and wraps up the big receiver until help arrives. So here's the 4th down play. Darby was targeted 105 times, which was the 5th most in the NFL, according to Pro Football Focus. He allowed 57 catches for 660 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. The opposing QB rating was a 78.3 when they targeted him. On the following play, the Eagles tried to get the ball into the hands of Jordan Matthews on a slant pattern, but Darby makes a strong play on the ball. Let's take a look at the play from the all-22 angle. The Bills are in cover 0, and Darby is matched up with Matthews at the top of the screen. He is shaded inside, and he recognizes the route, so he breaks on the ball and drives to the receiver. Take a look at the tight camera angle. The Bills bring a 6-man blitz, but the Eagles have it blocked up well. They slide the protection to their left and bring tight end number 87 Selleck across the formation to block Mario. This gives Bradford the time to get the ball to his receiver. The Eagles think that Matthews will be able to use his body to shield off Darby for the catch, but Darby diagnoses the route, plants and drives to the ball. His timing and the body catch by Matthews allow him to get his hands in there to break up the pass. So here's the play in full. Ronald Darby admitted to hitting a rookie wall in the 4th quarter of the season, but that shouldn't scare Bills fans. He has a whole offseason to condition and prepare his body for the rigors of the NFL season. He isn't the most physical DB, but he is able to play tight man coverage. He displays amazing body control, which allows him to get into the hip pocket of the receiver. Ronald Darby will hone his craft and continue to blossom into one of the premier cover corners in this league.